What's up? BigHerc916. Positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know, we do it over here. Man, I was just laughing to myself watching all these people parading around at the No Kings protest, right? And you look at, you got a bunch of elderly people who are into their social security years, who are tired of watching old Judge Mathis or Judge Judy reruns. So they decide to go ahead and get them a little paycheck and stand around and holler whatever the chant is of the day. And it's just entertaining when they try to talk about even the numbers, because I can recall just roughly 5-6 years ago when the same people were telling you to put on a thing over your face, right? And they were shutting down mom and pop businesses, but yet the big stores all stayed open. Was that very kingly? When you had individuals who were running certain states arresting people in the ocean paddleboarding, people literally almost getting attacked by police for not putting on a filthy mask. You had individuals that were told to stand and walk a certain direction with arrows on the ground. Was that very kingly? Was it kingly when somebody said, you better go get that, you know what, into your system, or else you can't go here, you can't travel, you can't do this? Was that very kingly? You think about these actions, right? And how when you step back and look at all those people, they were all on the wrong side. But yet they're marching, talking about no kings. It's just another distraction, man. It's another distraction. It's another way to get people amped up. They pay for their permits. The NGOs funded them. They got perfectly written signs. They're hanging out. They angle the cameras to make it seem like the whole city is full of people who are protesting. And it's all bullshit. It's just like when I drove through LA when they had the so-called ICE protest that was taking over all of downtown. And it was one block. They rallied these people up, passed out gear, gave them masks, gave them signs, gave them bullhorns. They had them, basically agent provocateur rallied them up to throw rocks at the police, rocks at the ICE, and most of them you don't hear from because they're all sitting in jail now. They all caught cases. They were set up, and they went for it. See, this is the type of stuff, man, that they do, and people just fall for it, man. But the game is a thinking game, and it's not a lot of thinkers out there. There's more sheep than anything. Have you ever tried to turn a sheep into a lion? It's impossible. You can't make a sheep become a lion. You can't even make it become a wolf. Can't even become a hyena. And the majority of the population are sheep. They're going to follow, repeat what everybody else says, not question, not research, not have any ability to have independent thinking. They're going to try to tell you what you should do. Yet when you have opinion, they're like, well, you don't have a degree. What does a degree have to do with having a logical understanding? If you can read it and you're not like mentally incapacitated, you can comprehend some shit. So why would you just go along with what everybody else does? Because that's the pressure. And most people don't want to be ostracized. They don't want to be ridiculed. So when something happens, they call it mobocracy. They just go along with the mob. They see something happening. They know it's not right. Instead of stopping it and maybe drawing attention that what's going on is not right, they just fall in line. And that's America. There's only a handful of people throughout history who have actually stood against any type of tyranny, people who actually had a voice that made a difference. And it was only a small percentage of people, whenever they had an uprising, that actually participated. Most people stayed home. Most people avoided any type of confrontation, any type of conflict. That's why what you saw happen in Germany was able to happen, because most people just stood by and watched. And these people, they knew these people, man. And that's the thing when it comes to people speaking up and actually expressing themselves. See, they get a couple people that are articulate or that have um, a voice in society, and they question things, and they basically shut them down, censor them, cancel them. They do whatever they can, shadow ban them so that they're not able to get any messages out, deplatform them. And that's why most people are like, man, I don't want that to happen to me, so I'm just going to go along with the narrative. Whatever your narrative is, man, that's your choice. I'm just saying that numbers don't mean shit, because there could be a bunch of ignorant people doing ignorant shit. And it doesn't mean they're on the right side of whatever the controversy is. But it's just funny to me, man, when I see stuff like that, because it's entertaining. And at the same time, people, rather than focus on working on themselves, they'd rather project their energy into something that they feel gives them a false sense of empowerment that they know nothing about. You know, the craziest thing was, man, when they had even the last big narrative, right? You had people who would never say anything to you, trying to tell you that you should cover your mouth. You're telling me to cover my mouth, you little weenie? You little beta boy? You little soft ass, candy ass? I'll put a foot so deep in your ass, I'll pull shit out of your nose? You're telling me what to do? I'm minding my business. Who told you to come over here and even talk to me? I'm walking outside. You got people trying to tell you stuff. These idiots, man, they're trying to tell you what you should be doing in an open environment with free air. Crazy, man. I never seen like that. Was one of the major things that I said, you know what, let me get up out of here, man. Let me get up out of Cali, man. Let me relocate. People, I'm gonna mess around and slap the shit out of somebody trying to tell me, to put this cover up, do this. Man, shut the hell up, man. So I don't know. I just it blows my mind, and I compare it to when I was in prison, and I would see people just sitting around, happy to be doing time together, watching sports or music videos, just kicking it, chilling, nobody questioning anything. And people on the street, a lot of them don't question either. They find something, and they don't want to even see if there's something that's counter to what they've been told, because if they do that, they might have to take responsibility. No kings, huh? BigHerc916. Subscribe, share the channel. Don't forget to stop by the BigHerc916 store and pick up a sticker for your car, or a patch, or a sticker for your laptop, or maybe a beanie, or read one of the many books that BigHerc916 has authored. You know how we do it.